student who fell in love with his own teacher. All the children in the class kept studying, but his eyes only kept looking at his teacher. One day the teacher, fed up, asked, "Do you come here to study or to do something else?" The boy smiled and said, "Ma'am, I will tell this only in private." The school bell rang. The whole school became empty. The room became deserted, and only that boy and his teacher remained face to face. The teacher said in a strict tone, "Now tell, what do you want to say?" And then that boy said such a thing that usually a husband says to his wife. The teacher was stunned after hearing, but the game was not over yet. That boy had some secret videos which he started to use as a weapon to blackmail his teacher. Did that stubborn student get his way? Or did that teacher show courage and change everything? To know this, definitely listen to this story till the end. Night had descended with its full intensity. Outside, the sky was drowned in deep ink and fine drops of rain. Crawling on the window glass, felt as if someone had muted their sound. Anvita Desai wiped sweat from Rish's forehead, straightened the blanket, and dimmed the lamp's light a little. In the room, only the light rustle of breaths remained when there was a soft knock on the main door. Once, again twice, then thrice. Such a knock which had desire also and concealment also, as if someone wanted the sound to be heard and not to be heard. She remained still in her place. The heart said it will be the wind, but the fingers tightened the knot of the blanket more firmly. For a moment the knock stopped. Then from under the door a folded slip creaked and slid inside. This sound was not just a paper. It was a secret rustle slipping softly. The chain remained as it was. Anvita bent and picked the slip, opened the paper, and in strange but familiar handwriting a line shone. "Ma'am, you are mine. You cannot leave me." Coldness entered her fingers. The air of the room became heavy, and the heartbeat started beating loudly in the ears. She quickly pressed the slip inside a kitchen container, looked outside through the window. The street was deserted. The fine lines of rain stretched far on the road. The trees were wet without expression. There was no shadow anywhere, only in the corner of the eye, as if something shifted, a vague shade upon which it was difficult to put a name. From behind, a small voice came. "Mom, who is it?" She answered gently, "No one, son, sleep." But the rhythm of the heart was out of control, as if a small drum inside kept beating continuously. Morning rose with the light fragrance of wet air. In the long corridors of college, there was a nameless dampness. Anvita came to the class and opened the register, wrote the date and said in a clear voice, "Today is a surprise test. 3 questions. Write what you know, what you don't know, try." On the first bench, second seat, Vian Malik was sitting, the copy open, the page empty, eyes fixed straight on her. With the tip of the pen, he kept making small circles on the desk, as if he wanted to imprison time at the point where his gaze was fixed. She went near. "Start, Vian." He smiled lightly. "It has already started, ma'am. Start studying. If your eyes move away from me, they will fall on the copy too. Keep your tone decent. You are my student." Her tone had no harshness, but a clear line was surely drawn. The test ended. Anvita collected the copies. When she came out, for a moment she felt as if some stubborn gaze had touched her back. She told herself it was an illusion, but illusions have their own stubbornness that sticks quickly. In the staff room, other teachers were laughing and joking over tea. Anvita lifted the cup, but could not bring it to her lips. Last night slip flashed in her mind like lightning, and her heartbeat increased. She looked through the window into the courtyard, and among the crowd of students, Vian appeared for a moment. The next moment dissolved in air. After the next period, she let the class empty. Vian, wait a little. He remained sitting on the edge of the chair. "How are you finding the college?" Silence. Last test was weak. "If you need help in anything," he suddenly spoke. "Help from you? You yourself are entangled, ma'am." The tone was not soft, but not loud either, as if velvet was wrapped over a dagger. "I am your teacher. Keep your tone proper. I want to come close to you. I do not want to remain just a student." She stepped a little back. Coldness ran from her palms to her elbows. "Control yourself. Do not cross limits. You draw the limits, and I always find myself on the side where you are not. This conversation is finished. From now on, if you want to come in meetings, come only for studies. Other things will remain here. He went till the door, turned back and said slowly, these talks never end. They only change. Then left. Risha laughed. For a moment the room lit up. When night fell, again there was a slip under the door. You cannot leave me. She crushed the slip in her fist. I will not leave. I will finish. If not now, then very soon. Next morning, she went into the silent corner of the library. She sent a message. 5 minutes. Only study talk. When Vian came, there was half a smile on his lips. This will end. Vian, you study in class. Keep distance. You had said study talk. You are reading a lie to yourself. Ma'am, I am married. I am a mother and I am a teacher. Under both college policy and law, this relation is impossible. I am 19 years old. I can make my own decisions. You are my student. That is enough. If you do not stop, I will officially file a complaint. He kept looking at her for a few seconds, then slowly said, complaint does not stop love, ma'am, and gradually faded away. As the day declined, an office boy slid a new envelope under the door of her room. Inside was a small golden heart-shaped sticker and a note. Today, 5:15, same place. She closed the envelope in her fist. Inside, there was a bitterness that would not soften. Now or never, she ordered herself. Behind the old auditorium, the long branches of trees were casting broken lines on the ground. She stopped a little distance away, tried to steady her breath when the sound of footsteps came. Vian stood in front of her. You came, I was sure. I came to finish. What has started must be finished. He stepped closer. She did not move back. Only a few inches remained between them. You cannot deny me. His breath met her breath. I am your teacher. That is my answer. And I am the only student who has read you. The air for a moment became still. In some corner of the heart, a hairline cracked. She told herself, go back. But sometimes a moment makes its own speed. Vian touched her hand. She could have jerked it away, but she did not. For a moment their breaths merged into each other. Then she suddenly came back to her senses. She stepped back, on her face a mixed wave of fear and regret. This was wrong. It will not happen again. He smiled. You could not deny even if you wanted. That is enough. She walked out quickly, sat inside the car, looked at herself in the mirror, eyes moist, face broken. That same night, she kept a white envelope on the study table. One page of confession. I made a mistake. I am reestablishing the limits. And one resignation. If things go out of control, this will be submitted. A short note for Vardhan. If I do not return home by evening, give this envelope to the principal. Next day, Vian had changed. While passing the corridor, he said, no need to be afraid. You are mine. In class whispers, that one moment will always remain. 2-3 students felt a strange pull between both, and whisper started. One girl laughed and said, Ma'am, you have fans? Heat flared on her cheeks, and the very next moment turned cold. In the evening, she gathered courage and asked Vardhan, do you ever feel distance has increased between us? Vardhan folded the newspaper. It happens. But if we stop talking, then that hesitation becomes a wall. Then hesitating, he said, shall I make tea? It was a small bridge, but true. One evening, she returned with Risha from the market. On the parking stairs, she felt someone was following. Turned back. Far away, Vian was standing. Mom, why is that boy looking at us? Risha asked innocently. No one. Her voice was hurried. At home, she closed all windows, drew the curtains. The vein of fear inside her heart became deeper. Late night, the phone rang. Unknown number. This time on the other side, it was Vian. Ma'am, you cannot forget me. Tomorrow you will meet, right? If not, I will tell everyone the truth. In his words there was peace, and in that very peace a threat was hidden. She placed the phone on the table, took a long breath, and opened the laptop. She collected pictures of the slips, the leaf kept on windshield, the scratch on car, noted time and date, drafted an email. Subject, boundary violation and safety concern. Addressed to Professor Mera. Few short, but solid sentences. This happened. These are signs. This is time. I accept my mistake. But now I am restoring limits. Guidance and action are needed. She sent the email. Next morning, Professor Maris seated her in a corner of the staff room. No surprise, no moral sermon. Only strong words. You are not alone. First safety, then method. He called the security office. Parking register was checked. CCTV footage is noted. And first session with the counseling cell was fixed. For the first time, Anvita felt that papers and institutions sometimes become the wall of the body, whose shadows do not break easily. After period, Vian was again in front. 5 minutes, or else I will tell everything. Say it here. No more closed rooms. He came close to her hand. She immediately stepped one step back. The corridor was empty, but from near the main gate children's voices were coming. This is your last warning. Now a formal complaint will be registered. The code of ethics is clear. Personal relationship between student and teacher is forbidden. The responsibility is mine, and the limit you will have to accept. He laughed, but in that laugh the first time there was a tremor. If you disappear, then people give meaning to emptiness. I can give that meaning. Meaning is made from reality. I will not hide behind lies, she said, looking straight into his eyes. At night, air was found low in the rear tire of the car. The security guard noted that a boy-like shadow had passed from the edge of the camera. Face blurry. Who can it be? Guard asked. She shrugged. If I knew, this all would not happen. Inside, a light prayer rose that this behavior may not increase further. In hostel room, Vian was lying straight. His roommate Sohail closed the book and said, "What is the matter with you? For days you roam strangely." Nothing. That happens whose eyes do not have so much noise. Sohail said with a laugh. But in his laugh there was worry. Did you call home? Father remains busy. If I tell mother, she starts crying. Then do not tell anyone, at least tell yourself. I told myself already. What? That one day I will win. Win? Sohail became a little strict. This is not a game, Vian. This is destruction. Vian closed his eyes. The ceiling fan kept spinning, and in his mind the same scene kept making a circle behind the old auditorium when one moment had become a line. Next day, a whisper changed the whole corridor. Someone from a small platform near the old auditorium uploaded a distant blurry picture of Anvita and Vian into a college WhatsApp group. Pictures blurry, faces recognizable enough, captions merciless. What is truth? This question becomes a weapon when people form crowd before the answer. Anvita saw the phone. Her throat became dry. Professor Mara said, "Stay silent. We will proceed by protocol." Security saved the link. IT cell sent notice to the group admin. And an internal meeting was fixed. In this meeting, Principal Dr. Anjana Rao listened quietly to everything. In front of her, clear sentences were placed. Slips, time, pictures called logs, first confession, restoration of limit, student's threat. Dr. Rao neither scolded nor defended, only said, "We are institution, not character. Our work is safety and truth. Do not take your classes alone. If possible, keep the door open. For any unusual act, give written information. And yes, give priority to your daughter's safety." That night, while telling story to Risha, Anvita told herself, in stories, heroes win because the story opens a sliding door for them. In life, with the door there is also a lock. Risha slept. She kept looking at the door for long, as if she wanted to give a name to the burden. Next day, Vian said in the corridor, "Delete the messages. Everything will be clear." Clear is a lie. Truth is like air. Even if not visible, it still exists. She said, "Then tell the truth in front of everyone that you just..." He raised his hand. "You once saw me weak and took it as permission. I made a mistake, but its value will not be fear." He remained silent for a few moments. Say this one sentence to yourself. "Without you, I..." Then listen what it answers back. He went away, but his steps were heavy. Before the end of the week, the first counseling session happened. The room was small. A plant, a soft chair, and transparent water on the table. The counselor asked, What one feeling will you name? Embarrassment. What does embarrassment say? That I should be punished. And what does your daughter say? That she wants to play cards. So between punishment and play, you have to choose a place where life can stay. She remained silent for long. Silence lined up her thoughts. He stood still. In the hostel, Sohail played a voice note of Vian's father. Son, when you coming home? Vian looked at the mobile screen. I don't know, he said softly. At least talk once, Sohail said. They talk big things. When I speak, they are in a hurry. Then write a letter, or at least write a letter to yourself. Vian brushed aside. But at night, lying in bed, he wrote in his heart a letter whose lines only he could read. Why have I come this far? Maybe because someone saw me, and I mistook being seen for being owned. On Monday afternoon, another turn came. Beneath the wiper of Amita's car, a USB was found. Inside was an audio, a recording from the day behind the library. Her own hiccuping breaths, her words this was wrong, and in between Vian's slow voice. In the background of the sound, the rustle of clothes and the hum of the fan. It seemed recorded close by on a mobile. She felt cold enter her body. A half line became a nail in her mind. Who recorded this? She immediately informed security. Email Professor Mara. The reply came. Keep it safe. Do not share. IT will step in. Her heartbeat began to sound in her ears. There was light in the room, but a thick curtain fell over her mind. That evening Vian's message came. Today evening 5:15. If you don't come, I'll share the audio. She turned off the phone, placed the envelope on the table, and went to Verdun. I need to talk to you. She did not tell the whole story. Only that there was a student. He was threatening. She was admitting her mistake. She wanted to fight, but not alone. For the first time, Verdun did not pick up the newspaper. He listened. In between, he said, We both make mistakes. But if we talk, maybe mistakes move toward something called learning. Her lips trembled, then she controlled herself. Behind the old library, this time she stood first, a small file in her hand. Vian came, his eyes filled with stubbornness but also with tiredness. The audios, pictures, notes, you have them? Yes, I am handing them to the institution. If you trouble me or my family even a step, this will go straight to the principal. I will admit my mistake myself. Say whatever you want. You think by admitting you will win? I didn't come to win. I came to heal. And this matter ends here. From today, if you're seen near my door, class, or car, I will not whisper. I will report with name. He stood silent. A notification flashed on his phone. Dad, where are you? He turned the phone over. His voice broke. Without you, you walk not with me, but against me. Thread is not the tone of love. She pulled out a small slip from her pocket. This is my counselor's card. Go, talk. Your life is bigger than the intoxication of one moment. He stepped back, as if some knot opened inside. He said slowly, I will try. Not try. Consistency. He turned away. His steps grew lighter. Beyond the shade of trees, he vanished from sight. She stood there for some time. In the air, for the first time, along with dampness, there was also soft sunlight. 2 days later, a notice was posted on the college board. Boundaries and safety, special session for teachers and students daily. The faces sitting in the hall were mixed. Some astonished, some disappointed, some experienced. After the session, a girl came and said, Ma'am, sometimes people confuse being seen with being possessed. And sometimes a teacher considers herself a wall. But she too is human. Anvita gently replied. That is why one must learn when not to say, and also when to say yes, but only in the right place. Meanwhile, the cell reported that the blurry picture spread in the group. The admin had sent an apology. Misunderstanding. The faces in the photo were not recognizable. That apology was a thin paper. It could not become a wall before the storm, but it did change the direction of the wind a little. At home, Verdun, playing card with Risha, looked at Anvita and smiled. Ginger in the tea was less. A small thing. But home sometimes restarts with small things. Late at night, she broke her hesitation and said, I will attend 2 therapy sessions with you. Maybe we both will learn how to talk when talking becomes difficult. He nodded yes. Inside, a light stood guard. In the hostel, Sohail came to Vian's bed. Come with me tomorrow. There's a place where people listen. They don't lecture. Therapy? Yes. People say I'm mad. People are husbands, daughters, teachers, us too. We are all people, and we all get messed up sometimes. Vian closed his eyes and nodded. I messed up too. Maybe now I want to be straight. 2 days later, a short envelope came by post. No sender's name. No long writing. Inside, a receipt of a session and ticket. I am going to therapy. Whether I get readmission or not, I want to return to my life. I will remember that freedom is the first lesson of love. Anvita read the line again and again. In the paper was the sound of someone's pause. She placed the slip in the drawer. In the morning, when she entered class, the board was completely clean. No sticker, no sentence. She wrote the date, opened the register, and said, "Today we begin with a new chapter, boundaries and responsibility. First question, when do boundaries break?" The young eyes in front watched her, some astonished, some slightly ashamed, some hungry to learn. She felt her words had now merged with the rhythm of her breath. When the period ended, she packed the register and came to the door. Outside, the sunlight was mellow. The air was soft. Inside, a gentle strength had settled. As if at the center of her back, a pillar had risen, whose name was not fear but form. Days passed slowly, as if someone had slowed a fast-moving film. Rish's drawings became more colorful. Vardhan kept an extra cup of tea with the newspaper, on which never was her name written, but she knew it was for her. After college session, a boy came. "Ma'am, what if no one wants to listen?" Do not say it in a loud voice. And do not go near such people alone. The rest, the institution handles, provided you open the door. If you fear even opening the door, then take someone with you. 2 people cut fear in half. Sometimes in the last part of the night, she glanced under the door. No slip was there. The smell of rain in the air had lessened. Sometimes she asked herself, "Is it all over?" Then reminded herself that ending too is a habit that must be learned. Some things do not end. They just sit behind, breathing, and when you name them, they weaken. One day, Risha made a new drawing. A mother and father stand in front of a blue house. Above, a yellow sun smiles. Risha said, "Mom, this is us." "Yes." Anvita stroked her daughter's hair. "And we are fine." "Since when are we fine?" "Since we started talking." At dusk, she passed behind the old library. The branches of trees still made lines on the ground. But beyond those lines, now she saw a straight path.